Hello, welcome back to my channel. I am finally doing my 2-year LilySilk review. I love basics and I love silk. I have things that are from the 1920s, 1950s made of silk, and I wanted these to hold up. We all know that LilySilk is heavily gifted, heavily sponsored here on YouTube. And the thing that I really want to know is, how are these pieces going to hold up with regular wear, regular washing? Can they survive a dryer, or do you have to very carefully, line dry them, all those things. So I want to tell you about my experience. As I said, LilySilk doesn't know I exist. I am a tiny fish here on YouTube, so they would never even think to approach me about a collaboration. These are all purchased with my own money. I am very happy with how these basics have held up, but there are a few things that I would avoid from the website. There are a few things that I would look out for, so I want to share those with you today. I'm going to tell you about what I have, how it's held up, how I care for it, what I've gotten the most use out of after all these years, and what I would avoid. I'm also going to have mod shots throughout the video, so I hope this is helpful. Let's get started. So I've gotten rid of 4 pieces of LilySilk since I purchased them. I have a lot of stuff. Like I said, I love silk. Silk is one of my favorite materials. I loved it since I started thrifting it when I was in college. Anytime I felt something and knew it was silk, and I've also sewn since I was a little kid, so I get really excited about this kind of thing. And when I saw that there was a company just dedicated to silk basics, I was over the moon. I went nuts ordering. And at the time, I want to say 2 years ago, they had a lot more discount codes. They were just starting to become popular, and this is pretty typical. A company is trying to get their name out there. They make the items more accessible. So they frequently had buy one, get one 40% off. You were also able to double and triple up coupon codes. So you could add numerous codes on top of influencer codes. So that is part of the reason why I have so much stuff, and I wear silk every other day. I use this a lot. So what I started out with, let me tell you, what I've gotten the most use out of. These are all the silk camis. They are all the same design. I wear them constantly, and I wear them year round because they're perfect in the summertime. They're very light, very cool and breezy. I mentioned this in the sizing video. If you're between sizes, I recommend sizing up because silk is just so nice and flowy. It drapes beautifully. So these camis are a size medium, and they're very comfortable and cool in the summertime, but they also work really well under sweaters. So I wear them year round. They are phenomenal. I love the navy, the pink, the white, the yellow. I don't have the black, and this is probably kind of silly considering how much stuff I have from them, but I'm like, no, I don't need the black. It would be beautiful, but I don't get as much use out of black tops for whatever reason. Oh, the pillowcase. I love the LilySilk pillowcases. I'm gonna talk more about that in a moment after I go through all the clothes, but I have maybe 5 or 6 LilySilk pillowcases. They're only $20. They have the zippered kind, and I think they have the other kind that just fold in. I love them. I'm gonna talk later about comparing them to 2 other pillowcases, both of which are more expensive. But just continuing on with clothes. So this is going to be kind of a mixed review. Let me tell you about this jumpsuit. I don't like it. I don't like it on me. I don't think it looks good. It doesn't suit my shape. It is just a very straight up and down cut, and it's really unflattering on my bigger chest and wider hips. It's very comfortable. I think Melbourne actually has this in a pretty periwinkle blue, and it looks phenomenal on her. Something I wanted to touch on in this video is customer service around LilySilk. I have no experience with their customer service. I can't speak to it. However, I've heard numerous times that people have had issues trying to complete returns. They've had issues with lost packages, and LilySilk hasn't been responsive. I don't know anything about that. So as with all things, I say take these things with a grain of salt. But having heard these issues, I decided not to try to return this just because I didn't want to go through the trouble. I also got this at a really significant discount. LilySilk lets you accumulate points with every single purchase. If you're considering buying from them, I highly recommend opening a profile and starting to get those points. I would go for basics at LilySilk. This was kind of a wild card for me. And so I saved up those points. I used additional discounts and an influencer code. I think I used Dale's from Dale's Addiction. I trust her. I always think she has exceptional taste, and I trust her to tell the truth about a product. She really, she's been wearing her cashmere knit basic, her like roll neck cashmere knit, and it looks great on her. If she says it's good, I trust her. So I used a lot of discounts towards this item. Like I said, I don't like the way it fits on me. I'm gonna see if it works for maybe a girlfriend, and if it doesn't work for any of them, I'll donate it. It is nice. It's opaque. It's a nice, like, thick material, but it just doesn't sit well on me. And being a jumpsuit, there's just so many pieces that have to work well. This would probably work on an athletic build, someone more slender than me, maybe someone more petite, but it just doesn't work on my frame. And not knowing, but having heard the things I've heard about their customer service, I just didn't want to go through the effort of returning it or trying to return it and have it not worked out. That just sounded really frustrating, considering that I got it at such a reduced price. I figured, you know what, whatever. I'll just give this to a friend or donate it, and someone else will get more use out of it than me. Here we have 2 silk shirts, back to basics. That is going to be my main takeaway in this video. I'll get into how things have worn and how I've cared for them at the end of going through the things I have. But the main thing I want to say is stick to basics. If you're concerned, like I was, about ordering with them, issues with customer service, how easy it would be for returns, I strongly recommend just sticking with the basic shirts, camis, slip dresses. So these I have in 2 sizes. This is a small and this is a medium. They both fit me, but the small is significantly more fitted, as you'd expect. And it works really well layered under crew neck sweaters. I really like these. I haven't worn them recently, obviously, because it's a long sleeve shirt and we're in the middle of summer here, but I think they have a beautiful luster. They're very thick. They're totally opaque. Yeah, a beautiful classic shirt. You can't really go wrong. Up next we have 2 sleeveless tops, and I love these. This one is a crew neck style, and then here we have like the deep V in the front and the back. I've had this one much longer. I've used it loads. I really, really like it, but there is something I wanted to point out about this. So you see how this one, I hope this shows up on the camera, you have these 2, you have this stitch, this line right here and here. So, I mean, you know, I'm sure you're familiar with this on female blouses. It's to make room for your chest. This one doesn't have that. It's just 2 pieces of silk stuck together. It's still very pretty. However, if you have a bigger chest like me, it won't sit right when you're sitting down for whatever reason. I mean, just for whatever reason, how the fabric tends to drape. Try to put in a picture of what I mean, but it tends to like bunch and fold right here because it doesn't have that seam sewn in, so that it would just like naturally go over your chest. I hope that makes sense. What I'm getting at is if you have a bigger chest, I would look out for the pieces with that sewn line. It's visible on their website from the pictures. They have pretty good detailed pictures on there. I still have gotten a lot of use out of that V-neck. However, if I'm going to be sitting down in meetings, if I want to look like extra polished when I'm at work, I always have a cardigan over it so that you can't see how it like folds on the sides, like right near my armpits. I hope that all makes sense. But it's something I wanted to mention. Now I have this silk dress, and to be honest, I have not worn this very much. It's not my best color. It is such a bold, like rich saffron. I think it's gorgeous. Oh my god, and this would look incredible on a deeper skin tone. But it makes my pasty pale legs look blue almost. Like I am so pale and my legs rarely see the sun. I don't go to the beach. It works kind of with my upper half, with like the limited sun that my arms get. But when you see the bottom half against my legs, They look, the contrast is just ridiculous. But I love the cut, I love the shape. Something to watch out for with LilySilk wrap dresses, I would say that I'm on the fence about them. The wrap portion, there's not a lot of overlap. I would like them to have a much, much bigger overlap. They're not great if you have wider hips. So if you're more slender than me, if you're more petite, this will probably be great for you. I do like the coverage in the bust. Not all of them are, not all of them provide as much coverage, and for some reason a lot of their dresses are cut really short. But I would not order another wrap dress from them. I've given one to my friend. I've given a red one to my friend. I'm gonna get into the 4 pieces I no longer have in a moment. This one I've kept because I'm gonna actually try to turn it into a little wrap top. Like I said, it's such a beautiful color and it works with my upper half, you know, because I'd like to obviously have colors that are flattering on me. So I think this would be really cute with jeans if I can, if I can manage to cut this and turn this into a little wrap style top. I'd like to try it. And then silk is so great because there's always something you can use the excess for. If you can get a simple tailoring, you can always use the excess for scrunchies, whatever little crafts around the house. Here is a dress that works really well, and it's just a basic kind of like tunic style shift dress. I'm not really all that familiar with most clothing terms. I don't know, or at least my mind goes blank sometimes when I'm doing these videos, but you can see it. It's very simple. So it's actually reversible. It has this round neck on one side, and then it has the V on the other. Even though the little tag is here, you can't feel it or see it at all when it's on. And I usually just wear it on this side because I think that's a more flattering neckline on me. It's to my knees. This is a great basic. Not being a wrap style, you know, you don't have to worry about flashing anyone or worrying if it's windy. Another nice thing is I've worn this underneath, like tucked into skirts, and so you're kind of getting 2 for the price of 1. They have tops exactly like this. They have little tops shaped exactly like this, but I've worn this tucked into skirts, and so it's almost like having like a slip underneath your skirt and then this cute little flouncy top. I think this is a really good piece if you're nervous ordering from LilySilk, you're not sure of the quality, you're not sure of the size. Another thing is if you find that this dress, if you find it doesn't work for you, or if it's too short, it doesn't suit your bottom half, whatever the reason is, you can always get this tailored. That would probably be a $10, at most $20 tailoring fix. You can often go to your local dry cleaner and they'll hem things for you. You can just cut this off right here, turn it into a top, have it tucked in. Super cute. I love this. I would highly recommend it. My last 2 pieces of clothing are slip dresses. They're these little silky slip dresses. One is from the clothing section and the other one is from the lounge sleepwear, like night dress section. And they are very different. So starting out with just the slip dress. As I said, this is from the clothing section. I don't recommend this. I've worn it, but I would say if you're gonna just buy one of them, buy the lounge style, and I'll go into why. So beautiful color. I have worn this, but not as much. I usually wear it for just lounging around the house. This is just a style preference thing, but I don't like these little skinny spaghetti straps. I have to wear some kind of supportive bra, and I don't like to see bra straps. It is something my mother has ingrained in me since I was little. So with these little skinny spaghetti straps, it's pretty unavoidable. I wear this for lounging around the house, and it's okay quality, but it's a little bit on the thin side. The main thing I want to get to is this lounge dress is gorgeous. I am willing to pay a little bit more for something that is superior quality, and this is much thicker. It's really nice. I like that the straps are on the thicker side, but like not dowdy. Like this is still a very sexy, beautiful dress. It's also longer. So these come in a longer length, I would say about midi, and if it's too long for you, you can always shorten it. That's a really quick, easy tailoring fix, but it's gorgeous. This is noticeably thicker and higher quality than the dress. As I said, this comes in the lounge sleeve section. I believe that they call this a night dress, but I'll have all of these pieces listed down below. I would also recommend leaning towards their darker colors. One, they don't show sweat as much. So if you're like me and you're a really just sweaty, nasty beast, I would always go for the black or the navy. Also, white is always good. But with white, you know, you can deal with like the yellowing. So I think it's the zinc. I think it's it's like the aluminum. Is it the aluminum or the zinc? I don't know. But one of those things in deodorant, it reacts with the proteins in your sweat, and that's what causes the yellowing on white clothing. However, if I'm in meetings, if I'm doing, I don't know, presentations, I don't want clothes where my sweat is really, really noticeable. Again, maybe I'm just a sweaty swamp thing, and so I have to think about these things, but I always lean towards work clothes where my sweat is not going to be as noticeable, because you get into those high pressure situations and sometimes you get a little bit sweaty. So I would always go for navy. Navy is a really nice classic color. Sometimes black can be like a little bit harsh, and I know people have mixed opinions about wearing black to work. Sometimes they think it can be too serious or turn people off to you. I don't know, there's a whole psychology behind that, but I love the navy and I love the white. Just my 2 cents. So those are all the pieces I have from LilySilk. I told you that I got rid of 4 pieces that I've ordered. So 1 piece had to get sacrificed for science. It was for the greater good, and nothing was wasted, so don't worry. So on my first LilySilk video, I was still very new to doing YouTube. I still think of myself as quite new, but this was like really, really new. And it was the first time that I received negative comments. It was a new experience for me, and I received quite a few negative comments where people were really angry, like really, really angry with LilySilk. And me kind of for talking about them. They felt that LilySilk was a total scam. They accused them of being con artists. They're like, no, this isn't even real silk. It's polyester. This is a huge con. Like, how dare you show this stuff? It's not real. And I was just like, whoa, what? What is happening? Okay, so me being the curious person that I am, and like I said, I have sewn for most of my life. I've looked into silk production when I was in India. I've learned a lot about this. So a really easy way to tell if you just can't feel the difference between silk and polyester, if you want to be 100% sure and you're just at home, the only way to know for sure is if you burn them. So one of the pieces I purchased, it was sheer. It wasn't as opaque as I wanted, so I didn't think it was as flattering. Talk more about that in a moment. But it was sheer, so it wasn't working out for me. I decided that this piece had to get sacrificed and get a hole burn into it. I then used the scraps, so everything was put to good use. But I wasn't comfortable filming this. Like, I'm still not comfortable putting out really controversial, ooh, look over here kind of content. Like, that's just not my vibe at all. So I just posted this on stories because I figured, you know, a small amount of people will see this. It's only on there for 24 hours. I'm not comfortable making a YouTube video where I burn LilySilk. Like, that just seems a little bit too dramatic for me, even now. So I burned a hole in this piece, and it behaved the way silk does. This stuff is silk, guys. I don't know what to tell you. I know that they're now doing cashmere, they're doing different knits. Perhaps they'll make polyester pieces in the future, though I doubt it, and I'm sure it will be declared. I believe they're legally required to declare it anyway. But the shirt that I burned behaved like silk and other natural fibers. I mean, it smells like burning hair, and it goes all powdery. Polyester seizes and just becomes this hard, solid gunk. It goes like, I mean, it's plastic. It would burn differently as you'd expect it to. So yeah, so one shirt was lost to science, but it wasn't a good shirt for me anyway. Another shirt was donated because that was also sheer. I want to talk about that for a moment. if you're like me, I want to avoid the sheer crepey fabrics on some LilySilk pieces. I'm gonna put up a picture here that is taken from their website, but if you're worried that something might be sheer, what you wanna do is you wanna click on the white color option. And if you see on that shirt, like in the picture, if you can see the other layers of fabric underneath it, that is how you can know if this is gonna be a sheer top. I was hypothetically aware of this, but like I didn't appreciate it until I bought things, and then I looked back at the pictures on the website and was like, ah, yes, I should have known. Okay. So it is easy enough to avoid if you know what to look for, but I did buy a little cute button-up shirt. I'm sure it'd be really nice on someone else, and I figured someone else would get a lot of joy out of it. So I ended up donating that to a local thrift shop. I'm guessing they're probably selling it for $2, so hopefully someone else will get the wear out of it. But I just don't like things that are sheer, and it was a little bit small on me. Then I also gave a red wrap dress to a friend. She has a smaller bust. I also put on like 15 pounds during the pandemic, so this was a much more flattering cut on her. It's super pretty. It's a great color with her hair, skin, and eyes. It was that beautiful red. I did really like it. I'll see if I can find a picture and put it in, but I just wasn't wearing it. I wasn't comfortable in the wrap style. Because my hips are so much wider than hers, I just didn't have enough like overlap in the wrap styles. And as I've said, I would probably avoid those things in general going forward. What else? So I got off track with that one. So I gave her the red dress. Oh, and then I donated one other piece. It was a blouse. It was the button-up blouse. It was a collaboration with Mel in Melbourne. It was the one with the silk buttons right here along the wrist, kind of like bigger sleeves, and the one little necktie, like the little pussy bow necktie thing. Really cute, very feminine. And I liked the idea of it more than I liked the actual shirt on me. I think it'll be a great style for someone else, and obviously you don't have to wear the little pussy bow with it. So if you just want it as a simple button down and use that silk tie for something else, you definitely can. I just thought, I'm not comfortable wearing this. It's not my style so much anymore. I'm sure like everybody, you go through these shifts where sometimes you're more feminine, sometimes you go more relaxed, more masculine, and I wasn't getting the use out of it. I couldn't imagine wearing it so much to the office. It was a slightly more feminine, more fussy style that I just wasn't clicking with at the moment, so I decided to donate it. Great shirt though, beautiful cut, really nice and opaque, a thick, lustrous fabric. Now about the LilySilk pillowcases. I have like 5 or 6 of them, but I change out my pillowcase at least once a week, sometimes twice, like in the summertime, if I'm getting like sweaty, if I want to keep my skin super clean, but I always change it out once a week, so I have quite a few of them. I have used silk pillowcases long before I started buying from LilySilk. I first had the dry bar one, which I do not recommend. I don't even know if they still make it. It got holey and thin really quickly, and then I started using the slip one. I got this at a Nordstrom anniversary sale because they're really expensive. They're like really, really crazy expensive. But I love the feel of silk pillowcases. They're kind of addictive once you get used to them, and like cotton just never feels the same. I know not everyone likes them, like my husband hates them. He hates the feel of it against his beard, and you know, like not everyone likes the look because it doesn't necessarily match your bedspread. So I really like them, so I just use it for my one pillow, and I'm not all that fussed about the look. So where was I going with that? Yes. I used the slip one for years, but they're so expensive. I mean, they're like quadruple the price, at least 3 times the price of the LilySilk one, which is $20. There was a sale, and so I decided to give the LilySilk one a try. I think it was maybe 30% off. Normally it's only $20, which is already really inexpensive. But then with the additional maybe 20–30% off, I decided to try it. And at first, when I held it, I thought, this is not as nice. This is definitely not as nice as the slip one, but it's significantly less expensive. You wouldn't expect it to be. It felt really like crispy. That's the best way to explain it. Like it felt really crisp. in comparison to the slip one, which was like, oh my gosh, it's like thick, like liquid. It has the smoothest, most luxurious texture that I've ever felt in a silk pillowcase. Not to be dramatic, but seriously, it is nice. It is nice. The LilySilk one, I felt it and I was like, okay, this isn't so great. However, I washed it and I dried it in the dryer and it became so much softer. That heat really just loosened everything up and it was immediately so much softer. So I then bought more, I ran them all through the dryer, and they're really nice now. I have to say they've held up beautifully. There is no holes, they are not thinning from what I can tell, like at least with having used them for a year. Eventually everything falls apart, but so far no wear from washing them and putting them in the dryer. The slip ones I also just put in the dryer. I used to be really particular about drying everything on drying racks, and I still am. So I do want to get into wear and tear and how I keep things looking nice, how I keep them in good condition. But I think that wraps up all my thoughts about the pillowcases. Hey folks, it's Editing Megan. I just wanted to be really clear with this. The slip pillowcases are far superior. So if you've ever felt them and then you feel the LilySilk pillowcases and you're like, whoa, okay, these are not the same. Like, that is absolutely right. I think the LilySilk one is a great budget option and it's very good. It's held up very well for being a $20 pillowcase. The slip ones, I mean, if I had $600 to spend on all the pillowcases that I would want so that I can change them out regularly, slip ones would be the way to go, but I'm just not willing to spend that amount of money. Okay, now on to wear and tear, how I treat them, how they've held up. I used to be really particular about drying these on drying racks. I would always steam them. I never wanted to put them in the dryer because I wanted to extend the life of these, and I definitely still do. I will go several wears without washing them, but silk is nice that way. Silk is hypoallergenic, it's really breathable. I know people have mixed feelings on this, where people are like, whoa, oh my god, you don't wash your jeans every single day, how dare you? Okay, I think that's normal, but that's just me. Wash it as often as you like. Steaming also is great for extending the life of clothes. Also, silk, linen, these things wrinkle. You will have to steam these pieces, but that's another issue. I will often steam them between wears because that does kill the bacteria. I can't remember what temperature bacteria dies at, but it is lower than the temperature of steam. I'm sure some of you know the temperature of steam because thinking about it when water boils. Anywho, I digress. Basically, you can steam them and it will be fine. It'll kill the necessary bacteria, they won't get smelly, and you'll smooth out all the wrinkles. Win, win, win. So I do sometimes now wash them. I put them in the gentle cycle. I just use simple detergent. I use like the Tide Free and Gentle. You do not need to buy fancy smanchy detergents for your silk pieces, but I will say I always like to get the ones without like the dyes and the perfumes, and I don't use as much soap as sometimes the brands recommend. They obviously want you to use as much soap as possible. People are gonna think I'm like a filthy swamp thing after watching this video. I'm like, I don't wash my clothes and I don't use that much soap. But basically, I know that I've watched videos where they've shown like you do not need to use as like the full cap of detergent to sufficiently clean your clothes. I mean, especially if you're keeping the water level lower, of course. So I usually use just a like little squirt, just like a dollop of the soap when I'm hand washing things in a bucket, or if I am using the washing machine, I put it on like the hand washing cycle and I use a little bit less soap than like the cap would typically recommend. How they, you know, how they have those instructions, even though I don't know if anyone actually reads those, but you get what I'm saying. I also put things in the dryer. I used to really obsessively like line dry everything, but I like how the dryer makes things really soft and it's so much quicker. So when I can, I'll line dry them, but Basically what I'm getting at is using the dryer has not destroyed these pieces at all. It has made them very soft. I really like what's happened, and I always put them in lingerie bags. You know, like the little laundry bags, you can get them for a couple bucks. They even sell them at LilySilk. So I always put those in there, put them in the washing machine, and then I'll often dry them. I think there are only two other things that I want to touch on this video. One, the silk camis are amazing. I've said this already, but if you are going to test the waters with anything, if you're going to try LilySilk, I strongly recommend the pillowcases and the silk camis. Like if you're only going to buy one thing, the camis are the way to go. They have every color you could possibly want. I think it's so versatile and it fits in with different styles. They feel just so like sexy and feminine, but not too girly. I wear them with bras, I wear them without bras, I wear them under little cardigans, I wear them to work, I wear them at home, I wear them under sweaters, like you get the idea. I love those camisoles, and if you like base layers, if you're someone who gets cold really easily, they're fantastic in the wintertime for under sweaters. They're also quite breathable. I can't say enough good things about them, and there really is a color for everybody. I just think a white cami is such a great basic. They go on every single trip with me. The final thing I wanted to mention is about rewards with LilySilk, discounts. Now, I think they are pulling back on the discounts you can get. You used to be able to double, triple up promo codes when you were buying from LilySilk online. In the checkout page, they would always have one little promo box and then another box for redeeming your points. You used to be able to double up on like store promotions, influencer codes, all that stuff. And that's part of the reason why I have so much, because they would have like the buy one get one 40% off and then layering up the discounts, using points. The thing about points, this is something I wanted to mention. So you have your profile page, and that's where it'll show you how many points you have earned from your purchases. And then in the checkout page, as I said, it'll have that promo box where you can put in influencer codes, or if they have a better store discount code. Unfortunately, you can only use one now. They've made it so that you can only put in one promo code. Oh, I get it, but it's frustrating. Oh well, I mean, they're growing in popularity. You're going to see this reflected in the discounts and the prices. In the one box where it talks where you can redeem your points, if you are checking out and want to redeem points, use that box. On the promo code, it has like a button where it shows you how many points you can redeem, and it'll say like redeem points. You can click that button and it'll send you a promo code. Don't do that. I did that once not knowing this. In the checkout section, all you have to do is type in the number of points you have available, and it'll automatically deduct a dollar amount from the price at your checkout. If you hit redeem points, in the profile section of your page, it sends you a promo code. You see where I'm going with this? It sends you a promo code, which you then have to put in the promo code section, which means you then can't use an influencer code for like 12% off or however much they're going for now, or any other store discounts. Yes, does this make sense? I hope it's clear what I'm saying, but I'm hopefully gonna have something on the screen from the website. You just type in the number of points at the checkout box. Don't hit the redeem points because it'll give you a promo code and then you can't double up on the discount. I think that is everything I wanted to say. Please let me know if you have any questions. I think it's clear. I really like this brand. I highly rate them. The stuff is held up beautifully considering that I treat it pretty casually. I wash them, I put them in the dryer. I do try to steam them between wears to extend the life of it, but I think I do that with most of my clothes, and these are holding up the way I expect them to. So is there anything else I wanted to say about this? Yeah, just go for basics. Oh, I have heard great things about their knitwear. They currently don't have any colors that I want, but I would definitely consider buying them. I know Dale from Dale's Addiction, she highly rates the cashmere sweater that she got. Oh, I would consider getting the silk sheet, not to put on my bed. I would never put it on my bed, and my husband would not tolerate that at all. But I want it for travel. Because you know how sometimes like trains can get really chilly, planes can get really cold. Also like camping with silk sheets being like hypoallergenic. They're really packable, they're so light, but they can really keep you warm. I'd love to get a silk sheet for travel. I think that would be really useful. Otherwise, I don't really have anything on my list. I would consider also getting a silk, another lounge dress, another little slip night dress, because I think they're beautiful. I love wearing them around the house, especially in the summertime because we don't have our AC jacked up super high. So I just feel very comfortable and pretty, I guess. I feel very pretty when I wear it. I think that's everything I wanted to say. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.